idea in entrepreneurship. In this regard, the RC Chennai has taken a lead with the coordinating officer, Dr. K. Ravikansar. Since the beginning, he started coordinating with all the other combining RC, and we are conducting this program. Before that, I personally know thanks to Senior Regional Director, Dr. Panneerselvam sir, RC Chennai, and coordinating officer, Dr. Ravikansar, Regional Director, RC Chennai, and also Senior Regional Director, RC-Madurai, Dr. M. Shanmugam sir, and Anbalagan Coordinating Officer, RC-Madurai, and also RC-Port Blair, the Regional Director, and as well as the Coordinating Officer of the Port Blair, Dr. Vipin Kumar, and Professor Sunil Jacob, Regional Director, and my colleague, Dr. Kasturi Paisala, Coordinating Officer for this program in RC-Bangalore. My another colleague, Deputy Director, Dr. Yama Malli, other supporting staff, all are present, and our participant, and also moreover, the important today's speaker, Dr. Shankar Gowda. For that, our coordinator, Dr. Kasturi, will going to introduce about the resource person today. So this is very good opportunity what the IGNOU provides for all the learners, because this is the day for the innovation, day for the skill, day for the startup. In this regard, the university is a very bold and a very good, and we are continuously engaging the student to get the new ideas. So for last time, idea 2025, the runner-up, we call the person here who worked in the iPhone company, and he got the runner-up, and we facilitate the learners. So what I personally request the participant present here, please make use this opportunity, what the IGNOU platform providing, to come up later on also. If your idea is good, if your idea is appreciated and is innovative, definitely IGNOU giving a further support to enhance take in the further level. In this regard, I once again welcome, thanks all the participants and the officer involved in this program, behalf of Regional Center Bangalore, and I thanks also the coming speaker also. Now I request over to Dr. Ravikant sir. Now please you can coordinate. Our coordinator will come to introduce the speaker. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your welcome address to our learners and all the audience today. Now I request coordinator Dr. Kasturi S. Paisala from RC Bangalore. Please take over and the session and introduce the resource person for today, Dr. Shankar Gowda sir. Thank you.
Sir, am I audible? Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Yes,
yeah.
audible.
Respected Senior Regional Director, sir, Panneerselvam, sir, my other colleagues from the other RCs of Port Blair, Chennai, Madurai, and Bangalore. I welcome you all for this Innovation Cell program, which is happening since several weeks. And yesterday we had guests from other RCs. So today, first session is from the Bangalore. Kamlesh sir has already explained about you. So on today's session, I'm glad to welcome one of our former coordinator also and exam superintendent. He is tied up with IGNOU for several years. So I'm very delighted to welcome you on this program. The Sir Dr. Shankar Gowda. Sir is a Dean Training and Placement, Dean of Training and Placement. He's also a professor and deputy Department of
Hello.
as at a BIT college. And
hello.
From VTU of Data Mining. And he has an experience of 25 years and plus 1.5 years of industry experience. So glad to have him here. And further to his achievements, he's also associated with Wipro, Great Lakes, and Unext. And he's a corporate trainer for all these companies. And he has minimum 90 publications in international journals at the conference. And glad to add that he has one patent in his name, and he has many research funds which I got from different AICT. So we are very delighted and happy to welcome you, sir, on this occasion. And definitely you will be a guiding source to all our students who will be a part of this program. So I welcome you, sir, on behalf of all the regional centers and NCDI division of the university.
Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Unfortunately, the camera is not working. I guess
Okay.
access must be given.
Okay. Ravi, sir, any problem? I think no.
No, I guess it's been blocked for all the guests.
Okay.
No. I think everyone is nice. Some of them I can see, so there is no problem with the camera with the other people. Maybe that your side and maybe some problem.
No, I'm not able to switch on the camera here.
Oh.
I'm trying to share the screen.
Oh, that is fine, sir.
Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
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 Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Respected regional directors, deputy directors, fellow colleagues, dear students. Thanks for inviting me as a resource person for this particular wonderful occasion. And I guess it's the right time when we are moving towards Viksit Bharat, Make in India, etc. The topic that has been identified and given to me, I guess it brings more value and more sense. And continuing with what Dr. Shanmugam sir was talking about, today we are in the age of startups, incubations, innovation, etc. So I believe it's going to make more sense. Unfortunately, again, I'm not quite aware of the audience, the domain of audience, and in that sense, I'm going to keep my discussion quite generic and superficial. I believe I'm audible and the screen is visible.
So yeah, you're audible, but I think screen
is not visible.
Yeah.
No, I'm not allowed to share the screen, it says. Access must be given for me to share the screen. The host should give the access.
Yes. Ravi, sir?
I'm getting a message saying that you are not allowed to share the screen.
Oh, 1 second. Ravi, sir? Hello, Ravi, sir?
You can call sir and ask him.
Hello, Ravi, sir? Sir is not able to share the screen. Can you?
Permission must be given, madam. Host of meeting
Yes,
must give the permission.
Yeah. Yeah. Sir, checking, sir. Yeah, we are checking.
Sir, I think RC Chennai has to think because they are given no link.
Yes, sir. Sir is trying, Ravikant, sir.
Okay, madam.
Sir, now it is visible.
It's visible.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Okay,
Is it visible now?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. So I just thought it's quite apt to have the keyword as technology to value, and the topics given to me were, as of now, I'll be just saying TRL, MRL, IRL, IP, etc. So as a precursor, we're talking about some numbers. 44,000. This 44,000 is the total number of startups that were initiated in 2025 alone, and that too in India, which approximately comes to around 136 startups every single day. And the total number of startups in India as on today is recognized startups as on today is roughly around 207,000, and roughly around 6,500 startups did not sustain or did not flourish. They started, and unfortunately they had to end as well last year. So out of 44,000, roughly around 6,500 did not see the day of light. If we just try to think what could be the reason, again, in order to do a startup, we need an idea, we need to be innovative, and the government also is providing all kind of support in order to promote startups. So what could be the reason for this 6,500 startups not to flourish or not to see the day of light? The reason for failure of these startups is either TRL or it could be MRL. If TRL was fine, MRL was fine, the other reason could be IRL, or there was no breadth for technology, there was no breadth for manufacturing or for investment. The other reason why the startup could have failed is lack of IP commercialization, or it could be due to lack in technology transfers. So these are potential reasons why a startup, if not necessarily a startup, even a well-doing organization is going to fail if we do not sustain these technologies. So what is this TRL, IRL, MRL? TRL stands for Technology Readiness Level. MRL stands for Manufacturing Readiness Level. IRL, Investment Readiness Level. IP, Commercialization and Technology Transfer. So my agenda in the next probably 40 minutes or so would be to briefly take you through what are these readiness levels at a very superficial level, since I'm not aware of the target audience and what is their expectation. I would be superficially touching on these levels: technology readiness level, manufacturing readiness level, investment readiness level, and what role does IP play with respect to any organization, and especially with respect to startup, and how should we consider transferring technology once the concept has matured. So before we start with these readiness levels, just try to understand what is this product life cycle and how does it differ from, say, product management life cycle. So any product or any idea is going to, say, get transformed into a product or process through various stages. So it starts with either the discovery or invention or a vague idea. Idea must be validated. Once, if we feel there is potential in this particular idea to be transformed into a product which is sellable in the market, then we go and build prototypes. If the prototypes are well accepted, then we transform this prototype into a working product. And this product would either be manufactured or product would be developed based on the domain. And then we are going to launch or release the product to the market. Product is then evaluated and we bring about any changes, any upgradations, or we maintain, and this continues until unless the product is decommissioned or removed out of service. So this is at a very superficial level of product management life cycle. And this becomes very important, especially for the startup ecosystem. When we are saying roughly around 106 startups are coming up every single day, it implies that those 106 startups would be having some idea or some thought which they believe could be commercialized or which they believe could be converted into a profitable product or process or service. So any product or any process or any service comes up with the innovative thought. So this is where innovation is coming into picture. So it starts with innovation. Innovation, all ideas or all thoughts cannot be converted into a product. They cannot be realized or they cannot be commercialized. Idea could be very good, but we may not have the technology, we may not have the resources, or we may not have the investment in order to, say, materialize or in order to convert that thought or idea into a reality. If you just look at the innovations that are happening today, now scientists are working on inserting a chip to the human brain. Now the exercise is going on, or the research is going on the rats. So the idea is, if you are able to enhance the memory of a computer or a robot built by humans, why can't we enhance the memory of humans? So work is going on towards that, and this is an innovative way of enhancing memory of humans. Now the research is going on rats. If this idea has to be materialized, or if this has to be converted into a real product, ultimately, we cannot start experimenting directly on the humans. So the rats are the test beds. So there is an innovative idea, and this innovation or innovative idea is basically where we generate and prioritize ideas. We discover new ways of doing things and create initial proposition. Not all ideas will be, say, empirical, or they can be converted into a product. So this idea has to be investigated. We must analyze extensively, and we must get the market readiness and market acceptance at a very initial stage for taking this idea further. So this is where analysis comes into picture. Analysis is basically conceptualizing or understanding the problem statement or understanding the idea or thought which has cropped up. So in the analysis phase, we validate the market need, we justify the investment. Now, any idea, if it has to be commercialized, it comes with a huge investment. Then we need to justify whether we are able to earn appropriate profit on converting this idea into a product. Then after analysis, after we have understood the idea or thought, we build the requirements. Once the requirements are built, then we go for designing the solution for that particular idea. in the course of time, we do the planning as well. Before we go and do the development, after we have got the requirements, we build the plan, and then we design the solution. So once the solution has been designed, we build the prototypes. We then build the actual product or process. We either manufacture, if it is a product, we either produce or we manufacture. If it is a software, we develop. If it is a service, then appropriately we build the service. So this is the time where we hone the requirements, design solution, build the solution, and we even test. Once the product is built, we do testing at various stages, and then we take this product, initial product or the prototype, to the market, give it to the potential end users for them to use the product or process or service and give their feedback. So the potential customers are going to study the product or process. They validate whether it is required in the market, whether it is possible for us to commercialize this, whether it is possible for this to, say, produce in large numbers or in mass or batch production, etc. So finalized proposition, then we go for launching the product. So we normally don't produce in large numbers before we commercially release the product or process to the market. It is only the test bed where we build the prototype or build the actual product in small numbers, and then if at all, if we feel there is potential for this particular product or process in the market, then we build the infrastructure for producing in large scale. So we launch the product, and this is where the product is in the market and people start, or consumers start using the product or process. And as and when there are some glitches or there are errors or there are issues, you provide service, support, maintenance, and ultimately we take it to the decommissioning. Decommissioning is basically the product or process. As if it is a mechanical product or physical product, they normally wear out. So once the product wears out, we remove that out of service, and we call this as decommissioning. And at every stage in the product management, we need to iterate. So this is the product management life cycle, and there is this product life cycle. We need to clearly appreciate the difference between product management life cycle and product life cycle when we are talking about either the startups or innovation or incubating, etc. So here, when we talk about product life cycle, we broadly classify or categorize product life cycle into 4 stages. One is the introduction stage. This is where the product is built or product is manufactured and product is launched to the market. So once we release a new product to the market, we cannot expect 100% of the market to be captured in a short time. It takes its own pace. So the graph here is drawn with respect to sales over time. It takes some time for the product to reach maximum population. So initially, it is the introduction where we launch the product. Sales grow slowly as people are not aware of the product or process we have built, and it may be through various means or various channels. We advertise, we market, and the awareness about the product or process is there there with the consumers. Consumers start buying the product or process. The second phase is where we call it as the growth phase. So this is where the product starts moving towards maturity. So sales starts to grow rapidly. Pervasive advertisement may be used, prices may be reduced, or you may come up with various promotions, marketing strategies, whatever, in order to compete and sell your product or process in the market. And also, you need to have a good, say, service and support mechanism so that there is a positive vibe about the product with the consumers. And then only profit starts coming. And this is not eternal. Any product or process we build is not eternal. It has to be decommissioned. It has a certain lifetime. And once the lifetime has reached, then there will be decline in the sales of the particular product or process. So maturity is the time where the product or process has reached its maximum sales. So sales increase slowly. Intense competition in the market will make competitors come up with more competitive advantage with respect to the product or process. At this point of time, I would just consider a very simple scenario of Reliance. Reliance was not existing, let's say, a decade back. And the first service provider for mobile was today's Airtel. Airtel has been in the business for last 30 years, and Jio came only a decade ago. By the time Jio came into the market, 100% of the market was captured by the other players. There was Vodafone, there was Spice, there was Idea, etc. Jio came up with a strategy of giving free mobile, free data, free voice initially. So they started penetrating the market. Slowly, they stopped giving the free mobile. They only gave free voice and free data. Later, they stopped everything that was given for free, and they removed the major players in the business at that point of time. So today you don't see Spice, you don't see Idea, you don't see Vodafone, you don't see lot many players. The entire market is either captured by Jio largely. To some extent, Airtel is still there. So that's the market strategy that was adapted. Product was same. The marketing strategy was different in order to remove the players. And again, we don't say that Jio is going to remain again forever. Tomorrow somebody may come with a new strategy, and again Jio may also decline. So sales will fail, product will lose its appeal, stiff competition in the market will be there in the future, and the product is going to be out of the shelf. So this is the difference between product management life cycle and product life cycle. So with this understanding, as a new startup or as an innovator, we got to question every single day, are we ready? Are we ready for what? Are we ready for starting a new startup? Or are we ready for introducing a new product or service? I may be an old player in the market, but am I ready for releasing a new product or service in the market? Or am I ready for innovation? Am I ready for remaining in the market with the competitors? In order to answer this, we must think about these readiness levels. So this is where technological readiness level comes into picture, manufacturing readiness level comes into picture, investment readiness level comes into picture. So we need to answer, are we technologically ready to remain in the business or to start the new venture? Technologically, we may be ready. Is there a manufacturing support in order to realize your idea into the product or service? So are we ready from the manufacturing perspective? Assuming that technologically we have done our homework, technology is there in order to build the product or process, it has worked on the prototype, then we have a mature technology in order to build the product. Then we need to check whether we are ready from the manufacturing perspective. So manufacturing one product, two product, 10 product may be viable. But when we go for producing in large numbers, in masses or batches, million pieces or million items, are we having the right infrastructure to go live with the large scale production or large scale manufacturing? So we need to check the readiness with respect to manufacturing, assuming that yes, we are technologically ready, we are ready from the manufacturing perspective as well. We then need to check, are we having the right investors to invest on the product or process we are eager to build? So we need to check the investment readiness, assuming that technologically we are ready, manufacturing we are ready, investment, there is a venture capitalist or angel investor who want to invest in your business. We need to check whether we have the appropriate, say, IP rights. So if we don't have IP, then it is not possible for us to survive in the business for long. And especially with China as a competitor, foreign nation, it is impossible for anyone to survive against the Chinese products. When I say Chinese product, they may be imitations, but we are not talking about the imitations now. We are talking about the cheap labor and high quality technology, what they have in order to produce a product or service which is having similar features or similar functionalities at a very cheap rate. Now, if iPhone is costing, let's say, ₹1,00,000 in America, the same iPhone may cost only 10,000 in China. The services, the look and feel, the product quality, everything would be the same. Now, why it is 1 lakh in US and only 10,000 in China? Because of their technological readiness, manufacturing readiness, and investment readiness. So we need to protect our ideas. We need to have the right copyrights. We need to have the right patents. We need to have the right trademarks. And we need to ensure these things are not taken due advantage by the competitors and throw us out of business. So we need to ensure that we are ready from the IP side as well. Taken into consideration, we are ready from all four perspectives. In order to sustain in the business, we must be ready to transfer the technology as well. So down the line, in order to expand our business, in order to diversify, we need many players, or we need many partners in order to sell our product or service or product or services. So are we having the capacity to transfer the technology so that we remain doing business is very important. So from all those perspectives, we need to first ensure, are we ready? Now, this is the main reason why lot many startups are failing. So just because they have got a excellent idea, they go for commercializing it, and they may be lacking in any of the other readiness, and they fail. So briefly, I'll just run through what are these readiness levels. We'll start with the technology readiness level. What is technology readiness level? As a startup or as an organization, I must ensure whatever technology I'm adapting in order to build my product or process, does the technology actually work? So TRL measures the technical maturity from all perspectives. So it answers whether an idea or thought has moved from the conceptualization to the actual product or process. Is it possible for us to transform the idea into a, say, realistic product? Now, I gave the example of enhancing memory of humans. Now, in case of a computer, in case of a robot, we just buy a memory chip and insert it into the robot or into a computer slot. Can we do the same thing to a human? Is it realistic? Now, we got to think about that. So, we need to think about the proven system in real world environment, and we need to consider the risk factors that may be coming from all nook and corners. So there are 9 levels of readiness that we need to ensure before we go for checking the manufacturing readiness. And we have classified or categorized these readiness into 3 stages. One is low technology readiness level, mid technology readiness level, high technology readiness level. So on a scale of 1 to 9, we have categorized the readiness levels. So 1 being the least and 9 being the matured technology. So 1 to 3, technology level 1. 1 to 3 are low levels where we think about the research, we come up with the ideas, we test the ideas with the lab infrastructure. In case of mid-level, we go and build prototypes, we go and do the pilot project, we do the validation, and if at the high-level technological readiness, we prove that the idea has been transformed and it can be commercialized. We check the reliability, we check the deployment environment, and once all of these things are, say, assessed, and if they are all holding good, then we say the technology has matured. So in the technological readiness level, let's not go in depth of these things. So these are the 9 levels of technological readiness. At the TRL level 1, we do the basic research and come up with the basic idea. We test the basic idea. We check whether the idea can be, say, conceptualized, or the idea can be transformed into a realistic product or process. So we come up with the concept. If you are able to come up with the basic idea and test the basic idea, if it survives, then we say the technology readiness level is at level 1. If the concept can be built, if the idea can be transformed or can be conceptualized, it can be analyzed. And if you feel, yes, it is possible for us to transform the idea into a product, then we say the concept can be built. So if the concept is built, we say the technology readiness level is at level 2. If at all, if you are able to come up with the empirical or come up with the justification of the idea, then we say the experimental proof of concept is there. So there is this TRL level 3. If you are able to demonstrate the idea with the proof in the lab, then we say the technology is there at level 5, level 4. If you are able to validate, build the prototype, validate the prototype, then the technology level is at level 5. If you are able to build a prototype, give the prototype to the end users or consumers, ask them to say work on that and get the feedback on the prototype, then we say we have the technology at level 6. So technology is there to build the prototypes, extract the feedback, incorporate the feedback. If you are having the ability to say capability validated on economic runs, we do the pilot project, of we go for full scale or similar prototypical prototypes are built at 2 stages. One is a skeletal prototype, other one is a exploratory prototype. Skeletal prototype is only the say superficial or a abstract one where it only gives the look and feel of the product. If at all, if you are able to build a actual working prototype, then we say the technology is at level 7. If you are able to say come up with a commercial design, or if you are having the technology for say building the actual product in large scale, so actual system is completed and qualified through testing and demonstration, we say technology is at level 8. And if at all, if you are able to have the technology in order to go for large scale production, then we say technology is at level 9, and that is the matured level. I'll not go in depth of these levels. I'll be sharing the slides, so anyone who is interested public can just go for the deeper level of understanding of these concepts. So as a case study, we can talk about Tesla. I guess Tesla is into everything these days. They were into spacecraft as well, SpaceX, and they are the first to come up with the autonomous vehicles. Now, autonomous vehicles were a success partly in some regions or some part of the world, and they have failed. They have utterly failed in other parts of the world. So when it comes to the autonomous vehicles, technologically, it is working in some regions. Let's say in the Western countries, let's say US, Tesla is a major hit. But Tesla has not been able to put its feet in Asia, or let's say in India. Why? Because the technology has not matured for those autonomous cars to work or to be driven or to self-drive on the Indian conditions. So what they got right, the technology was right only for certain part of the world, but technology is not proven for the entire globe. Okay. We'll talk about the MRL. MRL stands for Manufacturing Readiness Level. Once the technology readiness level is matured enough, then we go for checking the viability of manufacturing readiness. In the manufacturing readiness, we check whether it is possible for us to go for full-scale production. When I say full-scale production, normally in the labs, when we want to launch a product or when we want to test the product, we don't manufacture in, say, lakhs or millions. We manufacture in tens or hundreds. We build the manufacturing capacity only to manufacture in tens or hundreds. If at all, if it is viable, if at all, if it is proved that, yes, this product can be sold in the market, there is a great demand for this, then we go for, say, installing, or then we go for setting up manufacturing ecosystem to produce in large scale. The prototype might have worked, but the production version, if it has to work, then we need to check the manufacturing readiness. So here, the innovation is redesigned to check for stronger housing. Can we build this at a large scale? Building at large scale is not sufficient. Will the production be reliable and will it be profitable? So MRL measures operational and production maturity. It answers whether the organization can produce consistently, produce quality products, achieve the target costs, and also scale volume without creating any chaos. So manufacturing readiness level is again tested at multiple levels. It provides understanding of relative maturity and risk associated with manufacturing technologies, product, and processes. It is quite common for manufacturing readiness to be paced by technology readiness or design stability. If and only if that technologically the product or process has matured, then only we can go for assessing the manufacturing readiness. MRL assessment should continue vigorously throughout each stage of the program's life cycle. Just like TRL, even in case of MRL, we have 3 levels. So low-level MRL, mid-level MRL, and high-level MRL. In the low-level MRL, we talk about the ad hoc builds, manual fixes, unstable yields. When we go for mid-level MRL, we talk about pilot lines, learning curves, and cost uncertainty. And in the high-level MRL, we look for stable factories, predictable cost, and predictable quality. So these are the levels. Again, as said, there are 8 levels. It starts with the research level, the very basic level. Then we go for produced in the lab environment level, produced components in a relevant environment level, produced system in a relevant environment, production representative environment, pilot line demo ready for low rate initial production environment, low rate initial production environment in place ready for full rate production and full rate production. So in the initial level, that is manufacturing, in the research level, we do the basic research. If the basic research is validated, then we go for advanced research and advanced technology development. If we do that, then we say it is satisfying level 1. In the level 2, we check the feasibility of producing in small quantities. Manufacturing process identified, key process identified. Then we go for, say, productivity assessment ongoing. We compute the cost of manufacturing. In level 5, we go for long lead items identified and equipment in relevant environment. We trade studies, we go for think about supply chain management, etc. When we go for the pilot line demo ready for LRIP, we check for manufacturing process, supply chain, and then go for full scale development. Okay, let's not worry. I'll just quickly touch upon the investment readiness. If the manufacturing readiness is a go ahead, if we get a go ahead for manufacturing readiness as well, then we check the investment readiness. In the investment readiness, it is normally the, say, promoters or the funders of the business. It is from their perspective, it could either be the angel investors or venture capitalists or self-financing or financing through friends and family or the investment agencies like the banks, etc. They think or they question whether it is worth investing in this particular idea. Is it worth funding right now? So IRL measures attractiveness to their capital. So any commercial establishment exists to make profit, and again, profit should be within the ROI, return on investment, in a short span of time. You need to draw a business plan so that the ROI time is anywhere between 3 to 5 years for small investment and 5 to 10 years for large investment. So IRL reflects how investors, boards, and finance officers evaluate the market size and urgency, business model clarity, unit economics, risk visibility, management credibility, exit or scale potential, so that it is possible for them to make up their mind to invest in the business. Again, as said, there are 3 levels: low level, mid level, and high level. In the low level, the assessment is for, say, scientific aspect. In the medium level, it is for strategic option. And for high level, it is for scalability. Some potential questions that normally the promoters ask is, why should we pay for this? What is the profit, or how quickly the profit is recovered? Will it increase the viewership? Okay. These are the 9 levels, IRL 1 to IRL level 9. And on the right hand side, you can see the various investment centers. It could either be from the venture capitalists, or it could be from the angel investors, or it could be from friends and family, or based upon the investment readiness. There could be no investors at all. I'm not going in depth of all of these things. The last aspect is the IP commercialization. IP commercialization, if at all, if you don't protect your ideas, then your business cannot survive for long with the competitors. So IP becomes a very important aspect when it comes to protecting of ideas, or say thoughts or product or process. So IP is not just about trade secret, trademarks, know-hows, or patents, etc. IP is for everything. IP is for softwares, IP is for data, design, IP is for process knowledge, and IP is nothing but the intellectual property right that we own. So why IP is required? Because anyone can copy it. Price may collapse if there is a lot of competition. We need to have, say, differentiating factors for any idea or product, and the value must not be lost in the due course. So in order to maintain all of these things, you need to go for IP commercialization. So once you have got your intellectual property rights, with the competent authority, then you have produced the product, you have got the mature technology, manufacturing maturity is there are good investors, and you have protected your rights. Then comes the technology transfer. Technology transfer is from the developers to the consumers, or to the service support and maintenance crew. You build the product once, but it has to be maintained again and again. So technology must be transferred from the developers to the consumers, or in the channel. So the knowledge must move on from engineers to operation crews, from R&D to broadcast technicians, from say the developers to the consumers. And in order to transfer technology, we must have the right leadership. So technology transfer is leadership and a incentive strategy we need to adapt. And there are various tools for transferring the technology. So,
Sir.
yeah, I believe I've come to the end of time. So in the interest of time, I'm stopping here, and we have got 2 minutes for questions. I
Thank
believe
you,
I
sir.
was
No
a
issues,
bit
sir.
fast.
Fine, sir. It's fine. Ma'am, unmute, ma'am.
Hello.
Sorry. Yeah.
So you're done. Thank you, sir. Now you're visible. I think your camera is on now.
Thank you, madam. Thanks for your time. Yeah,
Thank
it's visible now. Thanks for your time and thanks for the opportunity. I take this opportunity to thank Dr. Shanmugam sir,
Namaskar.
Pasta madam, Hema Malini madam, and all the office bearers of RC Bangalore, and also all the office bearers of the other regional centers and IGNOU in part. Thank you very much.
Yeah, any queries from the students, learners? Any academics from RC? Our headquarters? Any queries regarding this? Madam Kastur, madam, you have any queries?
Bijapuradi want to do something. Devendra sir, please.
Unfortunately, I was not aware of the audience.
Audience also, please. Anything you can ask because it's technology
I
based.
was not sure who the
Yes,
audience
yes.
was. So
Yes, no, I'm aware of these all levels, sir. Thing is, no, mostly like, no, my side one query is like mostly as a researcher, like, no, before joining, I was very active in research. So I believe in basically like, no, fundamental research. So when you do fundamental research, from there only some applications will come. But when all these new technology, new terms are coming, so this actually hampering of a lot of like, no, fundings, like, no, from the especially from the government sector. So, and also allocation of the budget from the government also is year to year. If you see, it is accumulation is less. So what is your stand on that, sir? How do you see that? How do you progress India?
So with the Viksit Bharat and again Make in India, and with lot of indigenous support that is the government is giving, lot of MSMEs are also acting as a support hand. So we may have an idea, but in order to build that idea, convert that idea into a product or process, we must take the support of the experts. Otherwise, it is impossible for us to attract the investors. As an investor, ultimately, I would be looking at what is the profit I'm going to make. Technology could be excellent, manufacturing setup could be excellent, but if I'm not able to sell the product, then I would not be willing to invest. So we must take the support, and there are a lot of support centers available. We must take the support, sir.
So what I believe is, sir, year to year, like, no, government allocation towards research is reducing, and then government is expecting the private parties like industries should take part in this research R&D, but that is not happening. Actually, that is what my like, no, observation. Like, no, throughout academic research, industry also have been. So that is where, like, no problem. When you look at developed countries to our country, that is where we have like lagging behind. Industries are not.
Definitely, sir. Definitely. Over there, the universities, the government is going to allocate funds for the universities. Universities are bound to say spend on the research, but
Yeah.
here that support is not there. So support is there only for, again, it has started very recently only for the startup ecosystem. So down the line, government should start say supporting the universities as well. They got to allocate funds for the universities so that there is quality research happening, and these basic ideas can be converted or realized into products down the line. That support is not there, sir. I agree.
Yeah. Hopefully, in coming years, we see a better balance on allocation of the budget for the research from the
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
government point of view. I hope that we have better days for research.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
thank you very much, sir, for your insights. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks for your time, sir.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else have some queries?
Sir, thank you, sir. Shankaragowda, sir, thank you very much. Now, formal vote of thanks. I can, Kasturi madam will deliver. Then we can wind up the program. Please.
Yeah, I hope no other question, sir.
One Abhishek, something raised a hand.
Oh.
Yeah, Abhishek Bhattacharya, you have any query? Quick query, please.
Am I audible?
Yes. Please. Quick.
Question is like, it's an extension of what Dr. Ravikant said. In our ecosystem, we do not have the supply chain to, build everything in the manufacturing readiness level, like sheet metal bending, which is pretty much useful for aircraft manufacturing. And, the metallurgical engineering that comes with it, which requires us to, bend every and different kind of alloys and cut them into, very specific sheets, which then again comes with a technique called laser cutting. So how could we have more wiggle room in this area of manufacturing readiness level when we do not have, the prototype to, play around with? So could you please answer this question? Like, I'm confused with that.
So he's asking about prototype to manufacture. What is the question is? Please, can you be little brief because it's been so elaborate.
Yeah, in the MRL level, we sir talked about design execution mostly. So for design execution to have a real life impact, we need to see that the prototypes are pretty much working, at least at a very basic level. But the supply chain here is missing. Like in China, you have sheet metal bending companies which will give out prototypes at a very, cost-effective method.
Yeah.
Then they will give you methods to cut it again as per your needs, like laser cutting methodology. Then the metallurgical research is there. So which pretty much
Yeah, I think is more specific about industrial I think manufacturing kind of question. I think what you mentioned. So yeah, I think we will not be having that idea about properly that aspect. Probably we will not be able to answer. I believe. Shankaragowda sir, what is your take on that?
No, I'll just come back on that. I'll just say look for it because it's a specific question, and I'll just look back and probably post that in the chat.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. You can get.
Yeah. Thank you. Really, thank you for stating about these aspects because we are.
Sir, please mute.
Can you Shanmugam, sir?
Sir, yeah.
Mute you. Yeah. So it was really a very informative thing. Though we are not well read about these activities, this is an opening for us. So got to know the few aspects of these technicalities which you have explained to us today. And thank you so much because we have students today from various backgrounds. And this is one initiative of innovation cell by the university. So as the government is focusing on the startups, so this is on a session which we have started since yesterday, and today is your third session, and then afternoon also we have one more session. So thank you, sir, for explaining us in detail. And for most of us who are not aware about it, at least an initial step, we got to know that how to proceed and what are the things or procedures are involved in these activities. And we are very glad to be here. And this is your first talk, though we are, you were a part of IGNOU, but this is the first time we have invited you as a speaker. So it was good listening to you. And I thank you, Ravikant sir from our Chennai RD Regional Center for coordinating with me and other RCs for having this program. I also thank Pandit Selvam sir and other senior most faculties and academicians of our university. And I also thank the students. Without them, this program would not have been successful. And once again, thank you all of you for being with us here. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks
you,
for the opportunity, madam.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Thank you, Shankaragowda, sir. So over to Dr. Devendra, Regional Director, RC-Bijapur. Please, sir, please continue.
The second, we are going.
Thank you very much, sir. It's already 15 minutes. Our program is delay. Our session. Actually, a session will start from 12:30 onwards. So today we are having a very eminent scholar and administrator and a researcher, and my dear brother and a friend, Dr. Professor Girish Babu sir, is the session today. We are around at 12:30 onwards. So mainly he will talk on design thinking, critical thinking, and innovation design. Just I will introduce Professor to our August gathering. Sir did PhD in biotechnology, and he is at present he is working as a principal, handling both the UG and PG programs of biotechnology, microbiology, bioinformatics, food technology, botany, geology, environmental sciences, chemistry, mathematics, and statistics. Sir is having a vast research experience and many more administrative positions he carried over. Earlier, he worked as a head and R&D at Biogenesis, project coordinator at Premas Biotech, head business development and Genes Laboratory, and head of the department Life Sciences at Paroli University also. And he is having many more patents under his name. And also, he applied for many more patents also under United Kingdom. And he worked as a researcher, and he published more than 50 research publications in international reputed journals. So he is a very eminent scholar and good administrator. I wholeheartedly welcome for today's session, sir. Just I will introduce about our workshop. Actually, IGNOU is a Indira Gandhi National Open University, world's largest university. We are having more than 4 million learners enrolled under IGNOU, and we are having many more divisions. Among that, our National Center for Innovation in Distance Education, NCIDE, at headquarters New Delhi, and we are conducting many more activities on innovation. This is the Pre-incubation Training Program and Innothon 2026. So across the country, we are having 58 regional centers, and they made zone wise. So ours is a zone 12, and lead RC is Chennai, with the collaboration of Bijapur, Bangalore, Madurai, Port Blair. These are the regional centers. For the Q2, we are conducting a workshop on the innovation and entrepreneurship outreach for IGNOU students and alumni. It is an initiative towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. So this is the activity we are doing across the country. So we wholeheartedly welcome, and we are waiting to listen your excellent talk. And I think after your talk, all our participants and other regional center colleagues will inspire and enlightened. Thank you, sir. The session, please, you can carry, sir.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you, Devendra Bhai, for elaborated kind of an introduction on what. I specifically thank everyone for giving this opportunity and coming onto this platform. Is really a great kind of an opportunity and a pleasure for me. Thanks for that. I would like to share my screen. Let me on the onset, let me make it very clear. In this particular session, I don't have any technicality to deal with. It is totally based on what we go through on a daily basis, a momentary basis. We all really do what I'm going to cover into it. There's nothing big, there's nothing new, there is no technical kind of a thing into it. It is all like what we are doing, probably trying to brush up, trying to think, or make you to think, or make us to think, and how we can make a little bit of changes into it, and trying to understand some of the concepts, how we define it, Based on that, we would be going into it. So as don't have the too much of a concept to share with you or to deal with you, what is my request would be, this session has to be totally interactive, because there is no technicality. It is all, every one of us, we deal with this, and everyone we really work into it. So in that way, it can be worked out, or it can be fruitful if we make it into a discussion-based kind of a session into it. And I would like to share my slides, and I want to go the full screen. I won't be able to see you. So if you have any queries or there are any technical glitches, please talk, so that even if you raise hand also, probably I won't be able to see. I request you to talk so that I would be attending the queries from your end. I hope my screen is visible to you. Thank you. Okay, this is my presentation for you. Right. When Devanbhai spoke to me and he was asking, can you take up this one and you can talk for an hour and all. When I looked into it, the design thinking, critical thinking, and innovation design is really an interesting one. And I thought, like, being a biotechnologist, would I be able to justify this particular kind of a thing? I asked the question to myself. Then it's not only the biotechnology degree what I might be having. I had been an entrepreneur for 16 years. I had my own startups into it, and I have gone through that phase. And I'm still, after coming into the academics and spending the corporate service also, the whole experience of mine, more than 18 years of experience of mine, has been with these kinds of the concepts what we are working into it. Yesterday also I was into the Bio-E3 policy implementation by the government of Rajasthan. There was a biotech conclave yesterday. There was a mind riddling going on to it, into the policy making and all that. We were invited to share our comments and critically contribute for the policy making and all that. Every discussion, everyone who was there, indirectly they are talking about these things only, the design thinking, critical thinking, and innovation design and all that. Over the years, maybe 10-15 years, the buzzwords around us are really a different one. Probably we have never heard during our education times or anything like that. The economic world has changed, and the good old kinds of the practices of building a career and settling in the settling down in the life have been critically changed. And nowadays everybody is talking about something new. Everybody is trying to do something new. Everybody is aspiring to do something better, something bigger, something really bigger, where they can reach to the global kind of a thing. My presentation is going to be start with a particular question, like you people, you students at the IGNOU, you are into IGNOU because you are already there in many of these kinds of the career aspects into it, right? You might be dealing with this, or you might be having an idea, sleeping with that particular idea of doing something big and all that. So how we can relate the current scenario of career building of this particular generation with the availability, and majorly this is going to be covered with how we are going to mold ourselves for this particular challenge. Probably we are not happy with whatever we have in our hands. Every one of us really want to do something different. Every one of us really want to do something big, something new, something really enormous that has become the breed for every one of us these days. Then how can we make it happen? We can make it happen with a very beautifully designed kind of a title which I got. Design thinking, critical thinking, innovation design. This, which is going to be very much quite relatable with every day's life. That's what I was trying to tell you, that what is new into it, how we can do it. Let us try to work out, let us try to discuss, let us try to understand the perspectives, and with these objectives, that understanding the design thinking framework. We all think and now what is design thinking and how to put it under the framework, we can try to understand it. We all think, we do think, and let us try to understand what is thinking, what is critical thinking, how do they differ, and how we can apply these kinds of the critical thinkings so that we can evaluate our own ideas. I am going to talk, or we are going to discuss a lot about the ideas in this particular presentation. Convert the problems into innovation, innovative kinds of the opportunities are innovation opportunities. Once a problem can turn out into a multi-billion-dollar problem, a multi-billion-dollar opportunity for you to turn into an innovator. Develop a quick innovation concept, how we can really think and bring out a concept which can turn into an innovation. The overall idea or the goal of this particular session is not just understanding, but the application. Because whatever the things I am covering, probably every one of you already knowing about it, rather how we can apply. If we just know and we do not apply, we are going to stay with our own kinds of the career options, whatever we are having now. And if we start applying, then you may turn into an innovator. That is where the difference is going to happen. That is where we can bring the difference also, where you can look into how possible that you can chase the dreams and you can make it happen. I just want to start asking with a very simple question. I want you people to talk now. What is an idea for you? How do you define the idea? Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What is an idea for you?
Something like an insight.
Something like an insight. Okay, let me write it down. Yeah, fine, fits. Any other ideas on idea?
A new way to look at the same thing.
New way to look at the same thing. Very nice. Right.
Sudden spark of information, sir.
Spark of information. Very nice. Thank you.
It's a solution to a problem.
Very nice. Very nice. Right. Very good. We are really going good.
So a framework for looking at old thing in a new way.
Old things in a new way. Right. Okay. Yes.
So it can also be an opinion on an issue.
Opinion comes after idea, right?
Okay.
Opinion is the one what it is actually an expression of your idea. Fine, fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone who have really contributed to share into it. I congratulate you, and every point which you try to correlate with the concept called as an idea is really fitting into it, because idea is versatile. Idea is immortal. Idea diversified. Idea is there. Idea is going to be there, because without this idea or jugaad, we cannot run our life. It is needed at every moment, and that is where we live at. Now, when we try to define it, okay, so the idea comes with a different idea in everyone's mind. We will be having hundreds of ideas every day, but every idea is never going to be turning out into a successful story. Many of our ideas, they really fail. Okay. Now, can we think like why most of our ideas are not, if that is not most, many of our ideas fail? I'm not talking about a jugaad, what we do for a simple kind of a task, what we will be dealing with the life. I'm talking in a perspective that start thinking as an entrepreneur. In my whole presentation, I want you to have a mindset that, let us imagine you are an entrepreneur or you are going to be an entrepreneur and you are going to start your startup now. At that particular juncture, what should be your mindset? I'm dealing with that. So every question, every concept, what we are talking about, we are not talking about, we are not talking as a day-to-day kind of a normal common man, rather an entrepreneur or a turning out to be an entrepreneur. So if you think like an entrepreneur, you will be having an idea, because idea is there and it must be there for the business and everything. Many of the ideas they do fine. Okay, I had been a mentor for 2 of the startups. One startup, it closed down after 16 years of struggle. Another startup, it is still breathing. It hasn't grown as the mentor was really thinking of. For last 12 years, it is still breathing, and he's still fighting out. These 2 are the examples where 12 years is not going to be a small time. 16 years is never going to be a small time. After 16 years, when an entrepreneur is going to close his ideas or close his operation, now you need to look like all 16 years, what should have been his journey, what all he should have done, but at the end he was forced to close down his operations. At the same time, I have one more who could not grow, but yet he is struggling, he is going on. And if you look at interestingly about these entrepreneurial world around us, there are multi-million dollars kinds of the investments and the companies are coming up. They are growing very fast. They are making a lot of money. They are successful. They are happy. At the same time, lots and lots of startups, they really fail. The startups go with the ideas. Why do you think, if you critically analyze, look at the data and all that, okay, what are the major reasons that such kinds of an entrepreneurial ideas, they fail? The data says that no real user need. This is the first of the reason, like an important kind of a reason, that the ideas, whatever we think of, that may not be applicable for the end user. For example, 2 complex kinds of the apps we develop. Okay, nowadays this is a world of user-friendly kinds of the concepts. Everything has to be easy. It has to be smooth. It should be there right before your eyes so that I can put it into a click, and that has to happen for me. That is the way we have molded our life into it. You cannot make something very complex. You cannot say the user or force the user to use it when he is not going to feel that this is not going to be easy for me, it is really too complex, then it is never going to work out. Here point is, you need to understand who is going to be the end user and what are his requirements and how smooth and easy you are going to make it. If you fail there, your idea is definitely going to falter. The poor problem definition. Every kind of an innovation or every kind of an idea, if you think as an entrepreneur, that has to bring a solution. First of all, you need to identify a problem. Identification of a problem is different, and as an entrepreneur, you need to define that problem. That is going to be totally a different aspect. The problem remains the same, but as an entrepreneur, how do you look at it? Because you need to provide a solution. If you provide a solution, you are going to have a successful business. Okay? So you need to define the problem very properly, and if you do not do so, then it is going to be a major debacle for you. Then weak evidence. Evidence, what kind of an evidence I'm talking about here? See, when you have an idea, that has to go in multiple levels of the journey until it turns out to be a successful startup. Okay, so that is going to be weak evidence in the sense you need to prove your idea. You need to build up the prototypes. Okay, it goes with the TRL1 to TRL7. Okay, technology ready level. In the last presentation, sir was talking about investment ready level. Here I am trying to talk about the technology ready level. How far, how better it is, at what level it is, right? TRL1 to TRL7. You need to provide the evidence that whatever the idea you have, that is working out. You have an evidence, you have the proofs for that, and that has to be there. If such kinds of the evidence are going to be weak, then it is definitely sure that the idea is going to fail. Okay? Lack of testing. You need to properly verify, test every concept, every product, what you want to bring it into the market, that has to be rigorously tested. You need to give all the kinds of the evidence for that. And no execution strategy. Again, once you are a great guy who is technically strong, you have all the technical concepts, but you are not good at executing your business, then your idea is again going to fail. According to you, I'll just want to wrap up this slide. According to you, which is going to be a biggest reason for innovation? Failure of an innovation.
Sir, framing a superficial structure without going into the analytical details, and just like that, if they fail, it will
Right.
fail.
Right. Thank you, ma'am. Fine. I hope I addressed this one. Why do most ideas fail? Okay. Let us take a case study. Let us imagine a university has developed one AI-based research management system. Okay. To increase the publication output. It includes the predictive analytics, automated formatting, plagiarism alerts, and journal recommendations. After launch, faculty, they barely use it. Why did this idea fail? What assumptions you were made up of, and what was not tested? How could this have been improved? I start with the second question. What assumptions were made? Say, looking at this particular case where they have developed an app, right? It's a research management system. In that sense, we can call it as an app also. That was not okay. That did not work out. It did not turn into a popular kind of an app for us. When an app comes for the research management, what are the assumptions of an end user? What are the expectations of an end user? When you are trying to develop it, do you have a clarity into it? Now, as a student, if I put this app before you, what are your assumptions? Any ideas?
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
I think it will be to soften the work I would be outsourcing. So that is why I will use AI, which is pretty much journal recommendations and the part automated for formatting. That is what I would.
You want, very simply, like a researcher, after conducting the painful kinds of the research, he has the data, he wants to communicate that for the publication. He needs someone or something which is going to make all that drafting, identification of the public publications, redrafting it, putting that draft into a very proper shape, okay, identifying the flag, and identifying a right kind of a journal, communication, APC handling. All these things are going to be the follow through after you complete your research. So if I develop an app, that app should be addressing all those kinds of the assumptions what the end user is sitting with. So if we fail there, then our product is going to be really a flop. Okay, like this, we need to look at all these questions. As an entrepreneur, you need to understand that your idea may fail, but there are plenty of reasons because of which idea may fail. So when you really start looking into it, we come with one term called as design thinking. What is this? This is a structured approach to solve the problems from the user's perspective. I go back to that AI-based app again. Unless you do not have proper idea about the problems of the end user first, And you need to have an approach that should not be a casual kind of an approach. It has to be a structured approach, and that must solve the problems. If you fail to solve the problems, then it is never going to be a successful idea. So if you want to reach this, what should be our approach? How should I think? You must be always human-centered. Okay, please try to understand the emotions of your customers, please. You must be very clearly knowing that how your customer is going to think. Human-centered problem solving is the first requisite. Then you need to have the empathy for them. Empathy in the sense what I am talking about. Any idea? Empathy in the sense, I'll come out with some of the examples later. Empathy means you need to understand every status of that customer also. The product what you are trying to bring out, it is only exclusively for the high-level creamy people, or it is for the middle class, or it is for the poor. Okay, BMW or the Ferrari is not for the common people. The product is for the highly creamy one only. They develop that only for them. The customer base, they know it. They know the economical background, they know the affordability, they know the expectations of the highly rich people, what all they want in a car. Whereas multiple such luxuries, you cannot find it in a middle class car into it. Now, if you look at it, you can find thousands of such examples. Whenever a kind of a product is going to come into the market, they have the clarity that whom I am approaching, who are the class of the customers into it. You need to have the empathy for that. If I come with the middle class of Indian population, and if I think of launching a car into it, majorly I would be working out with the economy, the low-cost car, and there has to be a very important aspect that has to be a mileage. A middle class person can get a loan and he can buy a little more costlier car, but he will double check it if that car is not giving a fuel efficiency. Okay, you need to address the empathy of that person. This is very important. This is design thinking. Okay, then it has to be iterative. You cannot do it for only once. Your idea, your concept, your prototype must be come back again, checked, come back again, checked, and you need to multiple times, you need to prove yourself, and you need to prove this concept to the whole world that has been properly tested, time tested, and you need to conduct lots of experiments for that. And we must be bringing out something which is going to give the solution. When you are addressing a problem, you need it to. So these are all the things which will be coming into the design thinking. This is what it is. And this design thinking happens at 5 different stages. Again, it starts with the empathy. Okay, understand the user, define, frame the real problem, identify and address the real problem. Then ideate. Ideate in the sense you need to understand, you need to have the multiple ideas. A single idea is a poor idea. A single the multiple ideas for the same end product what you are trying to bring into it. Okay, then you need to develop a prototype. Prototype means where you are going to test. That's what I was trying to tell you about the TRL 1 to TRL 7. These are all the stages where you are trying to define that idea at multiple levels that this is going to be executable. Okay, then you need to test, you need to get the feedback and improve. These are the 5 stages of the design thinking every entrepreneur has to undergo. Okay, when you go for the design thinking is never going to be linear. Sometimes it's going to be good, sometimes it's not going to be good, like that way. For example, one of my PhD student, she's coming out with one nutraceutical based product. Okay, she is mixing some phytochemicals with some of the products into it. Let me tell you, she is developing a product called as khakra, and another one is going to be a chocolate protein bar. Including khakra and chocolate bar, she had prepared 53 different combinations of the recipes into it. And every kind of a combination has been given for the people. They have to fill up that form, the consent form, the taste, the the fragrance, this, that, multiple aspects will be there into it. You need to ideate, you need to check, and you need to analyze the feedback what you are going to come into it. Out of those 53, we have filed a patent for only 2 combinations. This is a real life example I am trying to give you, that how you need to think. That is a unique kind of a product. The product is really good. We are trying to go for, we have already filed the patent for an Indian IP, and now we are going for the PBC, and we are going for the US patents also, because we know that that is going to come out with a high impact economical weightage. So you cannot have one idea, you cannot have one prototype. You need to, it is an iterative. Please try to understand that has to be done again and again and again and again. Here I'm trying to take an example. Let's imagine you are trying to come out with some diagnostic kit. Okay, diagnostic kits is a, that is a very big area where people are really making lots and lots of money into it, identifying the particular kind of a disease or the health ailment. Let's imagine you are trying to launch one diagnostic kit, and you are targeting the rural people who are economically down. Okay, and you want to launch the product. The problem is the low adaptations of the innovations by the rural healthcare people. That is true, because many a times this doesn't work out. Reachability, their economical status, their openness to adapt to the innovations is really, because the rural people are going to be always reserved. They believe what they see for years only. The new things, they really take a lot of time for them to accept it. Here I just want to give an example. Do any one of you really know when this, what do you call it as? We have at the home, that is a ultrawave. Okay, this is one kitchen based one what we have, right? That really took more than 85 years to be accepted by the people, because the fire and the cooking of the food is exactly, we have seen that is going, there will be a fire, we will be putting a tussle onto it, and we will cook our food. That is the way we see that the food is going to be cooked. The microwave is never going to show you any kind of the flame in it, but yet it generates the heat and it cooks your food. Believe me, this was a fantastic innovation. This was invented somewhere in 1900 to 1910. This started to get popularized after 1980s only. Please try to understand, it took more than 80 years for the whole human population to understand and accept it. What will you do if this is not going to be accepted by the people? You need to have very careful kind of an analysis into it, the emotions of the people. That's why I tell you, like, empathy is going to be a major kind of a thing which is required for you, right? So you come out with this, that you are targeting the rural healthcare. The user is going to be a primary health worker. There will be a person, a nurse or someone who is going to work with the rural people. Need affordable, easy to use diagnostic tools. Insight is that innovation must be simple, portable and robust. Simple, portable and robust. So these are the ideas that which will be an entrepreneur is going to be thinking if he is really targeting for the rural people, so that he will be coming out with some healthcare product. Innovation begins with understanding the context. The context is big. Context is directionless. In the sense, like, from any direction, the context may be applicable into it. You need to look at 360 and you need to have an idea where the design thinking is going to be dependent on all these things. The design thinking is very much dependent on how do you state the problem. Identifying a problem is different than when you start sitting to state that problem. These two are very different. Please try to understand. We have a nature that we pass on the comments, we pass on the statements on everything, because every one of us, we have our own idea of everything what we see around our world. Okay, let's take an example. There is many a times I have seen the academicians passing on the statement that the students are not innovative. How far this is right? Is that like, have you identified the problem very properly? This is a question I'm asking you. You are passing on your statement that the students are not innovative. How sure you are that? Or is that a proper statement of the problem? Please try to understand, as an entrepreneur, if you fail to state the problem properly, you can never be successful into any kind of an entrepreneurship. Please try to understand that. Instead of stating the students are not innovative, now you need to dig down. If the students are not innovative, what are the reasons? You cannot state and conclude it, no, this is not going to happen. No, you need to start looking at it. Yes, students' innovative kind of a thinking is less. What is the reason for that? And as an entrepreneur, can you do something there so that your customer can be ready? Okay, you must be ready to penetrate into any level so that your customer is going to come back to your product. Instead of that, students lack structured exposure to the real world problem solving and the industry interaction. Yes, if you are able to bring them to the real world problem solving, and if you make them to interact with the industries, naturally your students start thinking innovative, because jugaad is done by everyone. The small neonatal baby also knows what jugaad it has to do if mother has to feed the baby. Ideas are there with everyone. Okay, how to approach with the problem, and as an entrepreneur, how you are trying to identify the problem and give a statement onto the problem, it has to be changed. We cannot conclude the things just what we feel, rather we need to dig down. The good problem statements are always going to be specific, user-focused, and actionable. This is very important. What if, after digging down the problem, if I say that, oh, my idea is really good, and when you start, working out that how you can really make it into the action or bring it into the action, if it is impossible for you to bring it to the action, is that a popular one? Say, for example, here I just want to give one example. I want you people to think into it. If we all think like, let us remove every bit of a polythene what we have spread out all over the world now. How do you bring a solution for this? Are there any idea? How you are going to act onto it? It's not small. It is humongous. Humongous. Taking out the polythene, every bit of a polythene, making this world polythene free. It may be possible, but how you are going to think, how you are going to ideate that, and how you are going to bring it into the action. I hope you understand how big it can be. Under all these idea kinds of riddles and all that, the thought process or the mindset of an entrepreneur is going to play a vital role. It's not a mere thinking, rather it has to be a critical thinking. Can someone enlighten me the differences between us thinking and a critical thinking? May I have some quick answers, please? A thinking and a critical thinking.
In-depth exploration.
Aimed at?
In-depth exploration.
In-depth. Please do not raise the hands. I cannot see you. I request you to talk.
Okay, sir, in my opinion, thinking is mostly a regular phenomena, whereas critical thinking is a more structured and more scientific way of going into it, where I'm analyzing what the thought process is and going into the depths of it.
Okay. Have you come across any concepts which can take you to the in-depth thinking into it? There are some psychological advices. People, they do good. And even as all these psychological practitioners, they clearly adopt this kind of an strategy to bring out to know the roots or go to the roots of that problem.
Are you speaking about Socratic questioning, sir?
There is very simple. I can give you an example. There is one very popular concept called as 5Y, WHY, 5Y concept, right? It is very popular. Even there's very good psychologists, they say that you can reach to the core of that particular problem, understanding the problem, where exactly you can find a solution. Go on asking why 5 times for the same question. This is called as 5Y concept. Okay, if you put 5Y questions for a simple every problem, you would be able to understand the problem very easily at the deeper level. Day-to-day basis, for everything, we cannot apply the 5Y concepts. Every one of us deal with, every one of us will be having some kinds of the problems which are laying with us for so many years. Yes, I do have them. I accept openly. Every one of you might be having. There will be some kinds of the problems, they are going to stay with us only. We don't give much time so that we cannot understand the whole problem which is there at the core, and we just let that to be stay with us, sit with us, eat with us, sleep with us. It is there. We have accepted it is never going to be solved. The thinking and the critical thinking, that is the difference where it is going to happen. Okay? You can turn the normal thinking into a critical thinking just by putting up some of the points that analyze the assumptions. We have assumptions for everything. We have assumptions for everybody. We have assumptions on every concept, every talk, every body language, everything. Analyzing the assumptions, we critically fail here. We believe we are right. We believe we are thinking right. And the assumptions what we make out of that thinking, we believe that. As an entrepreneur, you can never afford for this particular mistake, please. The assumptions have to be critically analyzed. And you cannot stop there. You need to prove your assumptions by evaluating, by providing the evidence. What you are thinking right, and your assumptions are right, you need to give. For example, Mendelian theories, Mendelian genetic laws, right? There might be some kinds of the assumptions when he conducted the experiment for once. He repeated the same thing for multiple times at various different agroclimatic conditions, and the assumptions and the laws of Mendel were critically analyzed by Mendel himself multiple times. Then he postulated the Mendelian laws of genetics. Evidence is everything. The assumptions what you make, they have to be proved by providing the evidences into it. Then identify the bias. This is a great kind of a problem for an entrepreneur. The bias. What's the bias is? For example, I can give you one, how the society thinks into it. There was a movie, right, which was a multi-crore, super duper hit movie. When I watched that movie, right, I was just thinking like, what is there in this that this could really earn so much of money? Only the over criminal kinds of the things, ugly kinds of the scenes, and all those things were there, right? If you think that this is going to work, if you invest so much of money onto that movie, you must be a wonderful kind of a person who knows the beatings of the people. I didn't like that. That's a different story. If I am not liking that, right, I might not be belonging to the mass, because that was not a flop movie. It earned more than 1,000 crores. Now, this is a bias. If someone asks me my critical assumptions about that movie, I say that is a waste. We should not, support such kinds of the things. The bias is going to be there because we are human beings. The bias is never going to stop. How you are going to, address that? Because as an entrepreneur, you need to minimize the biases. If the biases are going to be more, your product is going to be flop. How you are going to make the biases? Handled. Making reasoned conclusions. You need to give the reasoned conclusions. The biases are the questions which you need to be able to accept it for thinking and working it out. Okay? The innovation without the critical thinking becomes overconfidence. And you all know that a simple overconfidence, where it is going to take you to. Here, a little bit of the way, the sorts of the thinkings, what we do, the fast thinking and the slow thinking. The fast thinking, automatic, emotional, biased. Slow thinking, analytical, logical, and evidence-based. And the innovation requires the slow thinking. Means you need to be careful. You need to revisit everything what you are trying to assume and you need to do. Then spot the problem. Right? Here I have a question here. Let us understand there is a product, a herbal-based product. The company says that this herbal supplement boosts immunity because many users reported improvement. Now, as a customer, how do you look at this? What are your assumptions onto it? It is just a statement by the producer. He is trying to catch you, stating that many users reported that this supplement boosts the immunity in you. Could anyone of you answer these three questions? Any one of this?
Yeah, when we see many in such things, we probably think thousands and lakhs. It could be very few.
Would you believe this and you buy the product or you don't?
As a normal user, I might, but generally, we are these days we look at. I mean, we look at biases. Otherwise, yeah, normally I would go probably and buy it.
I understand. Like look at that producer's, the entrepreneurship key point here. He is trying to woo you by saying many users reported that. Do you have the data? Has he given the data? And why should you believe him? Or else I can say, oh, yeah, he is saying that many people have used it and, let me go and buy it. Many times we do that. For ages, we are using the fairness creams. Every one of us know, has anyone turned fair by using them? But yet, under FMCG, the highest, the profit-making kinds of the cosmetics are going to be the fairness creams. They are still selling, guys. They are still selling. You should see the commercials and you are going to be. This is how it's beauty. We know the truth, but yet we buy the products. Look at this. What evidence is missing? For everything, we don't ask for the evidence. Do we? We don't. Plenty of anti-dandruff shampoos in the market. If you have a dandruff, I don't have a problem of that, right? If you have the dandruff, right? My friend used to have the dandruff. Till today, he hasn't got any such kind of a shampoo, which doesn't allow the dandruff to come back after 3-4 days. But he is still using it. And what experiment would you design as an entrepreneur to look at it? Okay. Can someone tell me what is the difference between an innovation and invention? What is invention? What is innovation? Vic, please. I have a little time.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes.
I think innovation is picking up from not from scratch, but from a starting from a point which has already been started. And invention is picking up from scratch and taking it to a point from where that product can be innovated upon.
Very good. My question to you is that without the invention, innovation is possible?
we need a starting point to form a structured array of thoughts. So I do not think, in my humble opinion, it's not.
Right. So do you say that both are required?
One supports the other. So in a complementary way, yes.
Okay. Let us try to see what the theory says about it. Invention is a new idea or a product. If I invent something, I have invented it. Okay. Whereas an innovation, it is a solution that creates a value. It is tested and adopted, and it is sustainable. Innovation is going to be covering all these things, right? Now, if I invent a product, the product must be applying for all these things. Getting my point? Let us imagine I got an idea today that I am going to create oral insulin. I don't need to inject it. I'll put that into a capsule, and so that all the insulin-based or insulin-dependent diabetic people start using that capsule. Every day, they need not prick themselves to inject the insulin. This is an idea, and I want to make it. When I turn that idea into a product, you need to go through an innovation series. It's a journey. Idea can turn instant. And innovation is a complete process. You can invent something brilliant, but if nobody uses it, it is not an innovation. Try to understand this. If nobody uses it, it is not an innovation. Because ultimately, the idea has to reach the people. It has to solve the problems. That has to be loved by the people. It has to be bought by the people. Then only your idea is going to turn into an innovation. Innovation requires the execution. An idea may not require an execution. We have thousands of ideas. I never executed it. That they are going to remain as the ideas only. I did not even share the idea with anyone. No one knows that what idea I am having. But innovation, it requires the execution. So the innovation is idea plus value plus execution. Now, what is this value? Well, I will try to avoid this. Okay. Then the innovation design framework, how you are going to design the innovation. You need to have the repeated question again. Who is the user? What problem are we solving? What is different about our solution? This is very important, guys. Now, you need to understand this. You need to think different. You need to bring something out unique. This is where your marketability or the success of your product is going to be totally dependent on. Innovation has to be unique. It has to be new. It has to be solving the problem. How will we test it? The prototype has to be tested. You need to provide the evidence. Then how will it sustain? The cost and the revenue is also very important. You need to look how you can survive your business. There would be always a limit for the profit also, because you cannot make it too costly where the people are starting rejecting into it. So all these points are necessary for the innovation design. If you want to design the innovation, these are the frameworks you need to follow it into it. Okay. Devendra sir, I had shared one sheet with you. You can circulate among all the students who are there.
Sir, yes, sir, it's already circulated.
Okay. Now I request all of you to write down this and apply the concepts what we discussed today. You may take up either reducing waste, or bringing out affordable nutrition product, or bringing out a low-cost biosensor. You can take any one. Okay. And I want you people to work onto it and write it down and send it back to us, so that we can analyze this and we will come back to you after analyzing them. Is that possible?
Yes.
And when you work onto it, focus on the clarity. Please try to understand you are going to write down that document as an entrepreneur. If it is not perfect, it is fine. Absolutely fine. That is where we are going to evolve. Let us try it. All these concepts, what we have discussed today, let us put it into action and let us do that activity into it. Okay? As an entrepreneur, never forget this innovation triangle. It starts with empathy. There has to be a logic, a critical thinking, and then it has to be executed through the innovation design. So the design thinking, critical thinking, and the innovation design, all these three are going to be necessary to bring some innovation out into the practice and adaptability. This is a very popular triangle, and when you work with that particular challenge or activity, or if you turn out to be an entrepreneur in the future, please understand you are there abide with this particular innovation triangle only. You need to work it out. Okay, so what will you start doing differently from today? This is a question I leave to you. Thank you very much.
Sir, any questions? It is a very interactive session.
Sir, this is Zubair here. Could you please explain a little bit more on the activity that you expected from us? The activity that you asked us to do, or if you can just explain a little bit more.
Okay, right. I have, Devendra sir has shared one worksheet with you. Okay. Here we could not make the group because I haven't, directly been into touch with you. Instead of group, let us work it individually. Okay. You need not work for the group number. You can write down your names, right? Now I have given 3 challenges to you, right? The 3 challenges are, wait, let me come back to it. The 3 challenges I have given are, one is reducing the waste. Another one is affordable nutrition product. Third one is low cost biosensor. You can select any one of this, or if you are very much interested, you can take more than one, or you can work on all the 3 also in separate sheets. Okay. You need to fill out your ideas, design thinking. Okay. Let me share this over the screen so that I would be able to show you. Let me share my screen again back. I'll take a couple of moments, please. Able to see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. This is the document, or this is a pro forma what I have given. Group numbers you need not. Okay. You select any one problem and understand the problem. Okay. And for example, if you want to bring out any product, say for example, or else you want to reduce the waste, or you want to come out with a diagnostic kit or anything like that, right? Under that condition, you need to identify the primary user. Like that way, there are plenty of columns into it and you need to mention them. Then the same problem, you need to define it. Problem statement I want with all these kinds of the details into it. Then how you are going to establish the critical thinking for it. Then how you are going to plan to execute your idea. That is the innovation design. You need to fill it up and we are requested to send it back. Hope I am clear.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Right. If there are any questions, I would be ready to take.
Sir, any questions you can send to us, we will forward to expert. Because it's already 1:40, exact 1 hour. Sir, Ravikant sir.
No, sir. Sir has given a very in-depth, like an interactive session and very informative session. I enjoyed your session, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Really nice, sir. Very good session. Really very good. Detailed, it will be given in-depth knowledge for the new startup over the ideas, how to generate about it. So our problem is how to take it next level, how to go out. You clarified very well in your presentation. Thank you, RC-Bijapur also and Chennai also. Really, it has come out very nicely. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, shall I propose a formal vote of thanks?
Yes,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Also, thanks a lot for Dr. Girish Babu, sir. The last session was more interactive than all the sessions, I feel. So it was really good, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity. I really enjoyed talking about these concepts. Thank you.
Devendra sir, thank you very much for identifying a wonderful and very dedicated resource person. Very thankful to Girish Babu sir.
Thank you, madam.
Very nice sessions. Thank you very much.
This is Dr. Zarina, our Assistant Regional Director from RC Chennai.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Respected my dear colleagues of Zone 12 RCs, I invited speakers and our most valued invited participants. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. I, on behalf of IGNOU Regional Center Bijapur and the entire, let me call it a fraternity of IGNOU family here together, and on my own behalf, extend a hearty vote of thanks for all gracing this pre-incubation and validation and the concept development. Firstly, I express my sincere gratitude to Director NCIDE, Dr. Josna Dikshit and Dr. M. Das, and Additional Director of RSD, Ranjita Pranam, Senior Regional Director, Dr. Pannir Selvam sir and Dr. M. Shanmugam of RC Chennai and RC-Madurai, and Regional Director Dr. Shanmugam sir of RC-Bangalore, and Dr. Ravikant Kamlekar sir, Regional Director RC Chennai, and all the nodal officers of Zone 12, and my dear invited colleagues across the country. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation to Professor Girish Babu K. sir, Professor and Principal NIMS, Institute of Applied and Life Sciences, Rajasthan, Jaipur, for his kind acceptance to grace the occasion and deliver a excellent talk on innovation, design thinking, and critical thinking. Thank you so much, sir. I am also extremely grateful to our resource persons, Dr. H. Khanna, Professor of Anna University, who delivered artificial intelligence and innovation spirit, rapid prototyping for digital transformation. I also must mention our deep sense of appreciation to Dr. Preeti Gotmare, Central University of Rajasthan, delivered a talk on effective sales and marketing strategies for startups. I may like to express our sincere thanks to Professor Shankar Gowda sir, Bangalore Institute of Technology, delivered a talk on technology readiness level, intellectual property, commercialization, tech transfer. I express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Ravikant Kamlekar sir for organizing this meaningful workshop. I would like to acknowledge and gratitude to all the participant members of Innothon 2026. I wish all for colorful and bright life ahead. Jai Bharat. Thank you. Thank you one and all.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you all.